everybody, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be talking about how I became a naturopathic doctor and the education required to become a naturopathic doctor. I also want to talk a little bit about my experience with the entire program and give you some insight so that if you are deciding to go down this path, hopefully this will make it easier for you to decide if this is the right profession for you. Let's get right into it. So if you are thinking of applying to CCNM, which is the Canadian College of Naturopathic Medicine, I just want you to know that that is the only accredited naturopathic college that is in Ontario. There are two accredited colleges in all of Canada. One is in Ontario, which is one that I went to, and the other one is in BC. So there are only two here, and I believe there is 4 in the States. And to actually apply to CCNM or any of the schools, you do require a 4-year undergraduate degree or at least 3 years of undergraduate studies in any field. In 4th year of kinesiology, I really started to look into naturopathic medicine, and I was only introduced to naturopathic medicine because I went to go see a naturopathic doctor myself for my acne concerns, and it really introduced me to the field, and I just fell in love with it. I love the nutrition side of things, so that is kind of what drew me to the field in the first place. So I made some notes on how I actually applied and the prerequisites that are required to actually even apply to the program. So you do need a general biology course. That could be cell biology, genetics, immunology, micro or molecular biology. So that is one of the prerequisites. The second one is any sort of physiology. It could be a 1-year physiology course, or it could be physiology with anatomy, and again it has to be 1 year, so 2 semesters worth. The third is a chemistry, so it could be a general organic chemistry or biochemistry. And the last, there's 2 more. There's psychology, so some sort of psychology course. And the last one is a humanities elective. So I think I took a course called Trends in Gender in my 4th year. So again, like the kinesiology really helped me because I didn't really need to take anything as a prerequisite except for like the chemistry. So that summer that was between university and going into the first year of CCNM, I did do a chemistry course. So those are the prerequisites that are required to actually apply there. I did also want to mention that in the prerequisites, you do need a minimum of 60%, or I think it's a C minus, in order for those courses to count as a prerequisite. So you do need to achieve a minimum average in those courses in order for them to count. Other things that are required for your application include an essay and references and a resume. So your essay includes general questions. So in your actual application, it will give you specific essay questions to answer as a part of your essay, and they're very general, like why are you choosing to get into the naturopathic medical field and stuff like that. Your references have to either be from like an academic professor, you need one from an academic professor, one from a healthcare professional, and you need another one from either or of those categories, or a past employer or like a supervisor of a volunteer work that you did. You also need a personal resume, so showing your volunteer experiences, showing everything about you, like past jobs that you've had, some of your personal skills, languages that you might speak. So just like a very generic resume that you would send into any job application. Once you have sent in all of that, they will either give you like yay or nay, we're going to continue with the application process, or you may just have to wait and try to reapply again. But if they ask you in for an interview, that is when you know that they are interested. So I did get to the interview process, obviously, because I am here. And during the interview, they ask you questions that are very general. So like different scenario questions that have to do with like problem solving. They also ask you general questions about naturopathic medicine. So it's very important to educate yourself about naturopathic medicine in general, because they may ask you some questions regarding that. And they just leave a little bit of time for an open discussion between you and whoever's interviewing you if you have any questions or if they have any additional questions for you. After this, they are going to call you back or email you, and they will give you the decision. And obviously I was accepted into the program, because I was accepted, it doesn't mean that I was really excited. A part of me was excited, yes, but the other part of me was extremely, extremely nervous for what was to come, because it is a very intense program, and you know, it is something that I knew I was gonna have to be ready for. So I had to do a lot of just thinking and reflecting, and I ultimately obviously decided to go, and I'm very, very happy that I did, because honestly, it's just a very, very rewarding profession, and I love what I'm doing. I think my decision was based mostly on the fact that my parents were super supportive, and they just said, like, listen, try it out for the first year, and if you really don't like it, then, you know, drop out. So there wasn't a lot of pressure, which was nice. So I just went into it with that mindset. I said, I'm gonna give it a try and do, you know, the first year, see how I like it. And actually on the first week, there was like an orientation week. And we went to these like little cabins, you know, and you meet all the people that are going to be in your year. And it's just a really great like bonding experience. So I went on the orientation week, I went to this like retreat that they host. And that, I think, was the moment that I was just like, I am exactly where I need to be at this moment. I remember that there was a bonfire one night, and all of us were kind of just sitting around this campfire, and I looked up and there was just like a million stars in the sky, and I don't know, something just came over me in that moment, and it just felt right to be there. And the group of people that I was surrounded by, it was just very similar mind, similar mindset, and I just fell in love with, you know, the environment of it and all the people that I was surrounded by. So that is ultimately kind of what made my decision and made me feel really, really good about the decision I had made. Getting into the actual curriculum at CCNM, I want to talk a little bit more about how the 4 years are structured and what they can look like and what you can expect. So the first 3 years is where the majority of the courses happen. The first year is mainly like the foundational work. So again, courses in like immunology, there's like a research course, you know, anatomy, microbiology. So a lot more of that foundational basics, and basically how the body works and functions. The anatomy is probably the toughest course, and you can ask any student that goes there, that's probably the toughest course out of, you know, all 4 years. And I actually got out of that course. I don't know if you can anymore, but I was actually able to apply to be exempt from taking the course, because I did do a pretty extensive anatomy course while I was at Humber, and I actually worked on cadavers, which is what they do at CCNM as well. So if you have kind of like an equivalent to the courses that they offer, you can actually apply to get out of the course, and that was super helpful for me, because that was one of the toughest courses. My colleagues kind of were saying, you know, out of the 4 years. So definitely, if you can try to get out of those courses, do as many as you can, because that will definitely lessen your workload overall, and it definitely helped me in first year. So year 1 is the basics, the foundations. Year 2, it gets more into like different conditions and talking about different conditions, and year 3 is mostly where we discuss different treatments and the effectiveness of different types of treatments. Every year, or like mostly second and third year, you know, we have more specific courses of like what our modalities are. So things like, you know, we have homeopathy, we have like a herbalism course, we have acupuncture, we have massage, hydrotherapy. I'm missing so many. We have roughly 12 courses per semester, so it is definitely a pretty heavy workload, but manageable at the same time. I'm not the first person to get through the program, so it is definitely manageable if you kind of do your time management correctly. The last year is definitely the most fun year, and everything that, you know, you've been working so hard towards, you can definitely see it pay off and actually see it in practice. So the last year, you're not actually doing courses at all. You're just basically interning and you are practicing basically as a naturopathic doctor under the supervision of a licensed naturopathic doctor. So you're like a student intern practicing in 4th year. I got to go to the teaching clinic at Brampton Hospital, and we also have a teaching clinic at the actual school. So you do 3 shifts there, and you do 1 shift, you know, as like an outside shift. So I did mine at Brampton Hospital, but there's ones downtown. There's kind of different teaching hospitals all over the city. So you can also do an externship, meaning that you can actually find a naturopathic doctor that is willing to like mentor you, and you can do 1 day there. So there is some options when you get to 4th year. Let's talk about tuition. So this is something that I get asked quite often, and this is why a naturopathic visit is so expensive, because obviously it is an investment to go to the school. The current tuition is $24,600 per year. So basically it's $100,000 for the entire 4 years that I was there. And then that's not including any of your medical equipment, that's not including textbooks. So you do need to account for some of those things. It is a lot, again, it is an investment, but that again is why naturopathic visits are so expensive. So hopefully you can make that back, you know, over your 1st year. That would be crazy, that would be great. But if not, then over at least 2 years. What's crazy about the whole experience is that my 4 years at CCNM were actually 10 times less stressful than my 4-year undergraduate degree. And I know that's pretty hard to believe, but it is the truth. And that is because I definitely changed my mindset and mentality, just how I approached education as a whole. I was always, you know, studying and recording every lecture and trying to rewrite everything when I was doing my undergraduate degree. And when I got to CCNM, I promised myself that I would not do that. I prioritized my friends, I prioritized my family, I prioritized taking breaks and going on walks. I started meditating. So, you know, it's really just how you perceive stress can be such a big thing, and can cause a big shift when you try to perceive it differently and just prioritize things differently. So I think doing that, I, you know, was able to get through it, and again, like, it was definitely less stressful because I was putting a lot less pressure on myself. And I think the 4 years at Guelph really just taught me how to learn, and I just learned my style, and it was a lot easier for me to get through the 4 years at CCNM because of that. Some advice that I would give anybody that is applying, please just listen to what I'm saying in the sense of prioritize things that are important to you. And I can't stress that enough, because you do need to find balance and time for yourself going through those 4 years. It really did help me, so I want to pass on that advice to anybody else that would be applying to the school or is thinking about going through it. I also want to mention that if you have not started a social media account, meaning like Instagram or TikTok or Facebook or whatever platform, you need to get on that as soon as you start this program, because honestly, I don't think I would have any patience if I didn't start that while I was in school. You cannot expect to be busy and have a thriving business afterwards, because at the end of the day, this is a business as well, and you are fending for yourself basically, and nobody is really helping you. So my biggest piece of advice is start social media while you are in school, because if nobody knows who you are and what you're doing, then, you know, nobody's gonna come and see you. So it's gonna take that time to build that afterwards. Whereas if you can do that while you're in school, you'll be so much more ahead of the game. That's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this educational kind of video on my experience with the entire program, how to get in, how to apply, tuition fees, and I hope it was useful so that it makes your decision a lot easier if you are thinking about applying to the school. Overall, I mean, I'm so happy that I chose this profession. It's definitely extremely rewarding that I get to help people every single day and really make a difference, and spread my knowledge about, health, wellness, fitness, and I really, really want to turn this into a platform here on YouTube where, I kind of create a community. So if you guys have any questions regarding this video, please comment below and I will try my best to answer as much as possible. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, please hit that like button for me and subscribe to my YouTube channel as it helps me out so much. And turn on those notification bells because I'm posting new content like this every single week. If you know somebody that could benefit from this video, please share it with them as it may help them out with their journey as well. And if you want to see something on my YouTube channel that I have not covered, please, comment below and I'll try my